you who are big Division III basketball fans, what the remainder of their bracket looks like is the winner of this game will play either Wittenberg or Washington and Jefferson, and then the other half of the bracket is New York University, Albany, which I would think would have to be a tremendous rivalry in state there, Greensboro, North Carolina, that is, and St. Thomas of Minnesota. Semifinals will be Friday.
Every campus should have one. Lebanon Valley College in Annville, Pennsylvania, has had Frank Ofstismus for 45 years. Generations of students knew him as Hot Dog Frank. On the square just a block from campus, the Greek immigrant had his little hot dog shop. Hot Dog Frank loved Lebanon Valley. Any basketball season, the Flying Dutchmen beat their arch rival Albright. The hot dogs were on him, Hot Dog Frank. Any Lebanon Valley student needing counsel knew where to go. Or money. Hot Dog, I need some money to go home this weekend. Hot Dog, I can't pay this week, but I sure need something to eat. And Hot Dog Frank never said no. And in 45 years, not one student ever failed to repay Hot Dog Frank. He was honored at halftime at a basketball game last month, was made an honorary alumnus, learned that the school planned a life-size statue of him on the campus. Frank, with a little education but much learning, said his thanks through tears. This year, the big climactic game of the basketball season brought tiny Lebanon Valley, enrollment 950, up against giant New York University, enrollment 49,000, for the National NCAA Division Championship. The game's in Buffalo. The score's been back and forth. Now with 2.9 seconds remaining, NYU is leading, but Lebanon Valley has the ball.
All right, here we go. Lebanon Valley with the ball and down by 2 with 2.9 seconds remaining. Jason Say to inbound.
When people ask me about my career, the first thing that ever comes to mind is a national championship at Lebanon Valley College.
Danny Stevens looking him eye to eye.
Here comes Rhoades.
It is Mike Rhoades.
Well, I've been a basketball coach for 28 years, and my goal every year, let's see if we could replicate that what I was a part of at Lebanon Valley.
Inside the line, he throws it up, blocked by Gabriel, tipped to the basket, laid up and in, does it count?
Yes!
Yes, it does!
Yes!
Oh, baby!
But it goes further than basketball. You know, this story is about a team that persevered, probably was told along the way, don't have a chance or not going to happen, and now we're facing 49,000 students from NYU, and it happened.
What I remember the most about Annville was coming down over at 934 and coming down, and I saw sheep and llama, and we're driving into, and I'd never really been to Annville.
Small town USA, you know, a lot of farmland, Amish, you know, it's right near Lancaster County.
I mean, this is a small school, and it was way smaller then than it is now. You know, I think we had 800 or 900 students here. I mean, it was small for a high school. Like, it was a small school. Everybody knew everybody.
So Coach Flannery came to campus. I think we had a press conference in July of that year, between my sophomore and junior year. And we didn't know much about him. You know, back then, there wasn't a real easy way to do research. We just knew he had Division I experience.
For me, it was a bit of a fascination because, you know, why would he come here for this? And then once you knew the background, this is kind of the way things work and can work. And so in that way, it was a really natural fit.
You know, I remember when he got here. He coached at William and Mary. He left Drexel to go to William and Mary, and then the William and Mary staff got let go. So when he left Drexel, Jay Wright took his spot at Drexel, and Coach was at William and Mary for 1 year. There was a coaching change at William and Mary. Jay Wright went to Villanova, and Coach came back to the Drexel job. And I think as he was going along there, you know, Drexel had a magnificent run. He interviewed for Colgate, didn't get it, right? And like anybody, you have any successful person, you have to have an ego. You have to have a chip on your shoulder. And, you know, he came to Lebanon Valley, and, you know, that chip on his shoulder lifted 17 straight losing seasons.
I felt like I had to work really hard and felt like I had to compete. I had to do extra, and you had to get after it earlier than people. You had to stay later than people. And that was always a mentality that I grew up with, and I feel like when I came here, I felt like we were coming into something that was ready to bust and wanted to be good, and the place is special. Starting a new life, starting a new program around new people was so exciting. I don't know if you ever replicate that ever in your life again when you first get started with your first head job. And I think a culmination of when I get out these pictures and start to look at things like Dutchman taking the crown and these scrapbooks that some people have all put together for me, my family. It's neat to get them out once in a while, and I'm really glad that we got a chance to pull some of it out. I think the part for me was having done that at the Valley, and then that opportunity to be able to go back to my alma mater is probably the two places that in my life that I call home. And going up to Bucknell still as a young coach and having that opportunity, and then to be able to do some really neat stuff up there historically was something that the foundation was built at Lebanon Valley.
Coach joined the team in July, so there was no time to recruit. So he inherited the team that we had going into my junior year. We knew we had a decent team. We knew we were competitive, but winning wasn't a tradition. And Coach Flannery showed up and things changed.
He was intense, and in every practice it was no let up. You came to practice, and if you weren't ready to compete for the entire practice, it wasn't going to cut it.
Practicing was just as serious as being in the game for him, and probably even more important.
When Coach Flannery prepares a 2-hour practice schedule, every second is accounted for.
He's just gonna bust your balls, right? And it's nonstop. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. Get better, get better, get better. And I can't tell you, man. I went home a lot of days. I'm like, man, I hate that SOB. I can't stand him. Like, oh my God,
I was a pretty good shooter. So one practice, we would all go up to a foul shot. He would call out a name, random name, go to the foul line. You hit it, you knock it down, we don't run. Steve, you're up.
Steve Zever gets up, shoots it, hits like the front of the rim and goes in. He's like, on the line.
Mike comes over to Coach and says, Coach, I don't know if you saw, but it went in. He goes, I don't care. Steve Zever, too good of a shooter to hit the rim.
Too much rim, Steve. Too much rim. Get on the line and run. We're like, too much rim.
He has a little skook in him, a little Philly in him from Drexel, a little DC suburban with down at William and Mary. So he's got a mix of everything. He's kind of a mutt, so to speak.
But what really differentiated him beyond that was just that burning desire to be successful, the competitive spirit that he had, and the emotion and the energy that he brought to everything he did.
I know there were people that specifically came to games. They didn't even care about the team. They came to watch him and how animated he was on the sideline and the funny things he would say to officials.
Coach Lou Sorrentino was on that bench with him, and Pat be riding the official about something and wouldn't let it go, and Lou would go get up. He'd always get up and start grabbing him by the arm. He'd say, stop, Lou, I'm not done yet.
He was relentless, right? We could be up 40 points. He coached from the beginning of the game all the way to the end of the game like it was 0-0. It didn't from the jump ball on to the end of the game, and that was Coach Flannery.
First game we got to, the tradition that I had walked into was we said a prayer as a team before the game started. Well, that happened once. Coach got us together afterwards and said, guys, I'm okay with praying, but we're not going to hope and pray that we win the game. We're going to prepare and we're going to execute. And things changed going forward.
He takes a bunch of guys that he's never coached before, and, he goes to the ECAC championships. We win the ECAC championship his first year.
Culminating in that championship was one of the neatest things that you'll ever do, especially as a first-year coach. And that kind of thing set the stage for our recruitment. That set the stage that we're here.
Don't get caught up on Roman numerals. Get caught up on making the big time where you're at. the 75-pound dumbbell at Lebanon Valley weighs the same one as the one at Drexel. The Wilson Solution basketball you're using here is the same one they use at Carolina. And the 10-foot high rims that you have in this practice facility, exactly the same at UCLA. So don't get caught up on what you don't have. Focus on what you do have. And we were going to make the big time where we were at.
We were looking for kids that came from winning programs, because and kids that wanted to be here.
Yeah, so 2005, Coach Flannery and I got into the Hall of Fame together. That was a really cool night. We probably had half of Schuylkill County here, and all our teammates and all the coaches. That was really neat. And I know Mark Hofstas got in. He was in my class. That was a fun time. And then John Harper, 2 years later. Harp and I were captains on the national championship team, and then of course our national championship team got inducted that same night. That was a really fun weekend. That was really neat. So I'm sure a lot of our teammates will keep adding to these plaques for sure. So really, really special nights, really cool times. Brings back a lot of memories.
Shut up for recruiting.
Listen. Yeah, that's all working.
Where's Jason at?
Mike Rhoades!
Hey, you. You guys aren't in the Hall of Fame?
No.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, I've been carrying you for a long time. It probably won't happen.
Whatever.
Yeah, he made 2 big 3-pointers here in the last couple minutes.
Certainly being in the coal region, we were always looking hard up in the coal region, but then we found, folks that were also down here that were local, like a kid like Johnny Harper. One of the toughest kids I knew, saw in the area play that year, Middletown, great program, tough kid.
And now it is Moses against Rhoades. The dribble penetration, the block by Stevenson and the rebound by Harper.
Scotty Stevens is a great story because Scott played up in Potts, where I'm from. Did he turn out to be like a player and work hard? And he ended up being one of the best guys I ever had in the match, in the man. He was just a force in there. And then Steve Zieber, he comes from Berks Catholic, or I think that's what it was called at the time. Played for a really legendary coach, was very good, could score the ball, could shoot, and loved the game. We didn't know much about Jason, and we saw this long, lanky kid was skilled. I'm a lefty, he's a lefty, so I wanted a lefty, could shoot the ball, and he had an attitude. I mean, he's a competitor. So you're going, wow, he fits in with this.
Ahead for Harper. Stevenson, the touch for Hofstas with a jam.
Hofstas was a local kid who everybody in the area really wanted him. He wasn't going to back down from anybody. And getting him locally was a big coup for us because we took him from some good people. And then obviously with Michael, that was a long process. He had other offers. He had things that were going on. It's a long story, but I'd known him since he was 8 years old.
Like, I have family members and friends that I've been close with many years, right? I couldn't tell you what their number is, what their address is, but I can tell you Mike Rhoades, 1000 East Center Street, Monterey City, PA, 17948, 717-773-3117. You know why? Because for a year and a half, like, we hammered it, right? And that's how important he was to this mission.
That became really neat. So, you want to stop here? Yo! We're trying to get some shit done here. Come on, Cope. God darn. You can put that in there. I had no intention of looking at Division III schools or looking at Lebanon Valley College, but I had a relationship with Coach, and that's sort of where all this started from.
Mike was the guy. Like, when we recruited him, I mean, we saw him 26 times his senior year. And we went to track meets. We went to choral presentations, right? And we almost didn't get him. He was going to go to Alverny after all that hard work. And I remember it was like July 8th.
I got a phone call, and I really thought it was over. I thought it was done. And he said, Coach, I want to talk with you. And met him at a Burger King up in Pottsville. We sat and talked for hours. And I think by the time we were done, we had this idea that, you know what, this could be fun. And I'm, going to build this around you. The cupboard's not bare, Mike. We have some players down there that will fit right in with you.
And I remember that moment when Pat said, hey, he's coming. I remember saying, like, we can win a national championship. And why? Because to this day, there's been guys that have been more athletic than Mike. They can jump higher than Mike. But those players have not been able to be a catalyst for a team of winning like Mike.
You were at Mart's Hall and got into it with my nephew. My sister didn't talk to me because I threw
him out. Kept me.
It was
a smart move, Coach. It's a smart move. That's called recruiting.
Yeah, it was good.
And then I do remember when it was June and I met you in Burger King in Pottsville. We sat there for about an hour and a half, and you were talking about your vision and how you're doing things and how I would fit in. And I remember going home and I was like, I just want to go to college. And Coach Flannery wants me more than anybody else. And that started all of this.
When you're recruiting, right, there's a feeling, there's a guy, I mean, you've done it with Baldwin and all these guys, they want to play for you. They want to be there. And even though you could have played at another level, I think the fact that you were at that point where I want to go maybe be happy and my family see me play.
I say that all the time. Fit, right? Fit. And you don't know, some of it is a blind trust, but it was fit. You want to be around guys that love basketball like you. You're not always sure, but you have a feeling. Yeah. I knew how bad you wanted to win. I knew how bad I wanted to win. So that could work. I used the term that the heart-to-hearts. You and I, early in my career, had a couple of heart-to-hearts that changed me on how I looked at the game, how I looked at as being a teammate. I always said that I was a selfish winner at times, sometimes a selfish player because I wanted to win so bad.
But you could also take over a game.
Yeah, but you helped me understand that, like, man, I need everybody else too. And what ended up happening is the guys that I needed were the best friends in my life, and they still are to this day. And we had a special bond and a special group.
A team is like a stew. You learn this. Now, all the moms and dads and the girlfriends, they want everybody to be the meat. But only one person can be the meat. You need the potatoes, you need the carrots, you need the celery, you need the onion. Hey, the salt and the pepper, the broth, it's nothing really special. But it blends it together, it binds it, it gives it the flavor, right? We had a stew. That stew was pretty damn good.
7th grade schoolboy mates in Philadelphia. There's a steal by Keith Adams. Rhoades will fill the lane, but Adams will take it. Oh, baby! Oh, baby!
Anytime in this game, under 12 minutes to play, second half. Lebanon Valley down by 3.
Some of it was inherent in their personalities when they came. Some of it was what we were trying to do here, and it kind of meshed together that we were bringing out the best in each of us.
It's just like a big family of brothers ready to beat the hell out of each other and go at each other. But the second you're together and you're on each other's team, you have each other's back.
We had that unique relationship that we could go at each other, we could compete with each other, we could say whatever we wanted to, right? Like, if I didn't think you were doing something right, I could say it to you, and you might not like hearing it, but you weren't going to hold it against me.
To me, family is the group of people you go through stuff with, the good and the bad. So you competed against your teammates, your brothers, and then you had a coach that wanted your best every day. Of course it was going to create something pretty impressive.
And then even the guys who didn't play as much, they showed up to practice every day. And their job was make those guys better. And they took pride in it, right? And they took pride in it to where I wanted to clothesline them sometimes. We're going a whole practice long for an hour and a half, and there's a guy who's hardly played at all. Mark Smith comes in, and he starts flying up and down the floor, and you're like, dude, if you don't slow down, I'm gonna clothesline you. But that was his job, right? And he took pride in it. And those guys were as much a part of the success of this team as anybody was. And I believe you take one piece of the puzzle out of that, we don't win a national championship.
It's
like
true.
I knew my role. I mean, it's funny. I've used our story in a lot of places that I've gone and talked at, with camps, like teams. And I always say it. I say, for a successful team, you need your spotlights, you need your flashlights, and you need your nightlights. Like everyone has a different role. I was a nightlight. It's okay. That was my job. My job was get in there early. You're not gonna see my name on on the final score, and not gonna see me in the minutes, but I'm national champ. We're all national champs. It doesn't matter. We were a part of it.
100%. Yeah. No doubt.
100% great.
No doubt. And you did want that opportunity, right? If somebody got hurt, you had to be ready to step in. So you still wanted to go out and give 110% just in case there was that opportunity where you might get a chance.
Yeah.
You could always remember where, was it Rhoades? He would put on the
big sweatshirt, champion sweatshirt.
But then we would put the stuff on that makes your
sweat. You had the sweat. You had that sweat
no, but the pain,
you have the garbage bag thing.
So that they wouldn't smell the beers from the night before. Because then we'd have to run more. Yeah.
I don't know what smelled worse, the beer or the Bengay.
Yeah, but it was always a dead giveaway. We thought we had them, and then Flan would just be like, "That's it. I know what happened last night. Everybody on the line."
The biggest thing I would say about our team and where we got to, life is not linear, and it wasn't always smooth. But when we got punched in the face or we got the curveball, we swerved or we got back up.
The 93 year, we had a solid year, and got better from my freshman year.
We showed signs that we could play with a lot of teams and beat some good ones, but we also had our moments where our inexperience showed, and we took a couple beatings here and there, which is part of the journey.
We took some lumps, and I remember hearing Rhoades, I'm out of here. I didn't sign up for this. And, and you were all thinking at that time, like, maybe did I make the right decision, right? Well, maybe it would be better somewhere else, because we were, we wanted to win, and we wanted to win every game, and we weren't, right?
In the social media age, kid gets on the bus now and they only got 2 shots or they didn't score, and that's why everybody now, they transfer out. Like our guys dug in.
Anytime we got beat, the guys were pissed off. We were all mad. It wasn't okay.
In life, winning is not easy. Everything had to come together for that team, right? Guys had to understand their role. They had to embrace their role. They had to master their role and then be a superstar at their role.
Down the stretch, we got better and better as the year went on. Getting the tournament is going to take some work late, and we did that.
We're going down to Johns Hopkins. They're heavily favored, and we go in there and we win. And we win fairly, I think we win by 10 or so. Now I go play the #1 team in the nation, Scranton, at Scranton, right? #1 team in the nation. And it's just little old Lebanon Valley wasn't even supposed to get in, somehow, so what are the chances, right?
But we went in there like we had nothing to lose, and we gave them a great game.
We went toe-to-toe with the #1 team in the nation on their floor in the NCAA tournament. And you could see it in their eyes. They're like, who are these guys?
We did really well. We played really well. It just, got away from us there at the end. And like you said, I think we lost by 2. Good game.
You got to go through some stuff. You got to go through some valleys sometimes to get to the top, and that was a moment there where we were close, but we weren't there yet. We had more work to do.
I knew we were going to compete for the national championship around the McAdoo exit on Interstate 81. And when I say that, we had Scranton beat. We got to about McAdoo, and guys start talking in the back of the bus like, hey, we are going to do this next year. We are going to get this done. This is what we need to do. Like, we are all in.
At that point, man, everybody just ratcheted it up, right? Like, we're going to man, we can do this, and working harder the off season, doing things, and it was a huge milestone for us for sure, and I think really turned the corner, set the stage for next year. So going into the 94 season, I think I can speak for most of the team. We were counting down the days, right? Like, man, first practice, because it was go time. It was time to get after it.
We know we have a good team. We'd already been to the tournament. We're not talking about national championship or anything. We're talking about getting back to the tournament and winning the first game. That was the only goal that we had.
Like, let's try to win this. Like, and I didn't mean like the national championship, but like, let's go win a bunch of games.
So that was the attitude of these guys. They wanted to be good. They wanted to be better. And then you have to go play the game, right?
I mean, I certainly thought we were going to be a good team. We had, essentially the entire team back. And we had Mike, and everybody didn't have Mike. We had Mike.
Mike, I'm so proud that he was Player of the Year and all the things he did. He did that. He did that while making everybody else around him better. There was times where he would completely dominate a game and have 14 assists and maybe 10 points, and he dominated the game. Then there's times that he could go for 35 if he had to go for 35, and that's the way they were, that's the way they were playing him.
When you look in this gym, right, all those jerseys that are retired, that's the best dude that's ever played here, period. He got the records. More importantly, he won. Case closed.
My confidence came from knowing I outworked you. I'm still like that. And not saying others don't work hard, but that was my edge.
He was literally the proverbial coach on the floor. And of all things, I just feel like he became better and better because he wanted to be coached. And now for him to be a coach is just so fantastic.
Good, buddy, good. Come on, Eddie, come on, Eddie. Good. All right, I got
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Here we go. Score, Isaac. Stop me. Get her.
Okay? The month of September is to build ourselves now. Summertime's over. We're not in summertime mode. There is no banners in here that say Big Ten champions. Not one. Why not us? But your mentality every time you step on the court is you got to go to work. Does everybody understand that? You got to go to work, okay? We don't have to go long to go hard. We don't have to go long to go hard. But if we're on the court, we got to build this. We got to build this now. The summer, you build a great foundation. Now let's build a house on this foundation. Family of three, 1, 2, 3.
Moving forward into that year, we were older, we were all tougher, we were all stronger, we had some really good players, and we got along really well. I mean, that's a formula for a fun season ahead.
If you look at our records that year, we'd go 8-9 wins, then drop one, 8-9 wins, and then drop one, and it was kind of like a reality check, right? Like, okay, hey, you got to get back to it. You guys are good, but you're not good enough to just show up.
Millersville came to our place, and I remember it was weird. It was like a weeknight game, and Millersville, right? They were a benchmark program in the PSAC at that time. Well, they came to our gym, and, you know, they probably were looking at it as a mere formality. They were going to beat the hell out of a D3 team that night. They didn't come up on the floor for warm-ups till there was about 8 minutes left in the clock.
They were taking us light, and I remember we get in the huddle, and Mike's like, he brought us in right then, like as they're walking on the floor. He stopped what we were doing in warm-ups, and he brought us in. I'm getting goosebumps, right? Because he's like, look at these guys. They have no respect for us. They don't let's get after it. Let's beat them.
And I think we got up on them 18-0. And it was never a game, right? And we hammered them. And I think at that point, like, this is going to be pretty good.
But we got to a point in January where we were rolling, where honestly at times practice was harder and more intense than the games because we were just clicking. We were sharing the ball, we were guarding, and everybody was playing the right way. And
we felt good. I mean, we really did. It was like, doesn't matter who we play, we're going to have a chance to win.
This is so weird because this is not our gym. You know, like,
Right.
It's actually something we should have talked about. We should have talked about Lynch.
Yeah. Oh, tell me about it now.
Because Lynch was a tiny gym, but Lynch would just get packed, and it was hot. It was an awesome home court advantage. I have so many memories of just like running out onto that floor, and we just had such great support. That place was special.
They played over at Lynch Gymnasium, which 90 degrees, humid as could be, standing room only, every game. There was not a game that this group played in that was not standing room only in that place.
I mean, that gymnasium, Lynch, used to be packed to the gills for these games. And any place that they would travel to within this conference, packed to the gills. Those fans traveled everywhere.
And that's what we did. We would caravan. We'd all hop in cars and we'd load those cars up and we'd head down to the visitor gymnasium. And our goal was to take over the gymnasium.
I mean, their energy, it got us through, right? It got us through things. And I mean, they brought it every night. It was phenomenal. And without that support, I don't know. I don't know if we'd had the energy to do it, but they were awesome.
In just a bit, but let's take a look at Lebanon Valley's lineup tonight for Coach Pat Flannery in his 5th season. His point guard.
We went to a really big lineup. Our lineup, I mean, for a Division III team, our lineup was huge.
That year, Steve was starting. He got taken out of the starting lineup, got sent to the bench. We moved Scotty Stevenson in to the 5, and then Hoff went to the 4, Jason went to the 3, and John Harper went to the 2 with Mike.
The lineup changed, so I went from basically starting to being the first guy off the bench. So it was a little bit of an adversity moment for me.
He maybe was a better man than me. You know, it would have been hard to say, okay, whatever the team needs. You know what I'm saying? I think I would have, but I don't know. I might have been. That's a hard pill to swallow.
Again, going back to, you know, people that support you, like my dad said, he always said, and I believe this firmly, and I tell my kids this, it's not really who starts the game. It's more important on who finishes the game, right? That's really what matters, because that's when the game's on the line. You want to be on the court at the end of the game.
Steve didn't sit there and hang his head. He didn't pout. He didn't do this, life's not fair, why is this happening to me? That's the difference in today's market. What have you done for me? How can I accentuate my brand? What's my Instagram following going to be like? Hey, the man who rows the boat is too busy to rock the boat. And we had a lot of guys rowing the boat.
Pat Flannery a little angry at the call, but Langford put it on the ground. That's what you need to do in that situation.
Langford with 4, looking for 5, and we're tied up. Lot of iron on that one. Oh, the faces of March.
Look for number 3, Charles Lee at the other end to create.
Langford, the senior, hit them both. Huge free throws for Keith Langford. 63-62 Kansas. Can Bucknell pull the upset? 15 seconds left in Oklahoma City. Down low, jump shot, got it! McNaughton! The inbound, the long pass, the turnaround, Simeon, no! And Bucknell has pulled the upset. 64-63. The NCAA tournament. This is what dreams are made of for basketball players.
Obviously, this is a huge shot. What's kind of neat about this is John Griffin is now the head coach at Bucknell, and that's my son, Jesse, standing quickly, and he's now an assistant there. But as far as the tournament goes, to be able to go through that and experience, I wish that everyone that had ever laced up a pair of sneakers could experience what Lebanon Valley and Bucknell kids, men, were able to experience, because it's something that you never ever forget, and it's something that you've worked hard for to get there, and win or lose, it's something that allows the kids for their whole lifetime, since they were little kids, to want to be in a tournament. They're going to watch that tournament the rest of their life and know that they were part of something that was just as special as the sport gets. So I don't think I realized till I was done coaching how few people really ever get to experience the NCAA from the inside and be able to be part of everything that goes on with the tournament. And for that, I'll be ever grateful for all the great players that we've had, that I've been able to have a chance to coach, and are now our friends. So that's a really special time.
So the NCAA tournament is here. We were 1 seed, so we get a bye in the first round, we get our second round, and who else but Johns Hopkins, right? Same team last year that we played in the first round, except it's kind of, the script's kind of flipped, right? They're coming to our gym, and they're the underdog now, right? And we knew that, right? We're like, man, there's nothing more than these guys would like to pay us back from last year, and they were a really good team. Johns Hopkins is a well-known Division III powerhouse.
I remember being just so proud that Lebanon Valley was hosting an NCAA tournament game for all the people in this area, and the place was packed. The game was ugly, but they played ugly and we played ugly, and that was two just big-time teams just punching each other as hard as you could, and we could play that way. And we walked out of there with a decisive win in front of a packed house, and we were off and running.
Off to the Sweet 16, we're heading down to a school in Lancaster to play UMass Dartmouth, and we're excited, right? I think this is as far as, Lebanon Valley team's been in a long, long time.
They played a pressing, aggressive style. And if you saw Mike play in those days, right, that was going to be like fishing with dynamite for him, because in the open floor, he was lethal. And they pressed us, and guess what? Layup, 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 and a layup. And it was a pretty comfortable lead at halftime.
The second half of that game, we took them out of everything, and we got to a point like we were pounding them.
Enough to get them by F&M, And tonight they will play for the right to go to Buffalo State. Mark Hofsis and Josh Hammermesh will jump center. Amherst is in the white. They are the home team, and this game is underway.
When you look at Division III basketball, Amherst is a staple name, right? You know, it's not like Lebanon Valley. I mean, people haven't heard. Amherst is a name that's consistently in the NCAA tourney year in, year out. We knew they had a good program.
Ways they have gone where no team has gone before. Jason Say this time tries the right wing.
Boy, he's been spectacular going out there and hitting that jumper.
Team, but looking to push here in the early going. And Jason Say is 3 for 3.
Yeah, and that's an interesting matchup for Amherst because they're trying to play him with their third guard,
Nate Campbell, and I would bet that is out of his range, according to Coach Flannery. There's Jason Say with a loose ball.
Jason Say shot the ball really well in that game. Here's another example of a guy picking up the slack, right? Doing their job, doing their role, and now we come out of there with a really good win against a quality Amherst team.
Lebanon Valley by 7 with 11 seconds left. John Harper to hit the proverbial nail, I think, and I think they just put her underground. Wilson for 3. Rebounded Moses with 5. Hammermesh with 3, 2, 1. Lebanon Valley College, you are headed to Buffalo.
And this is what Division III basketball is all about. That's a great game. Give a lot of credit to Amherst, and congratulations to Pat Flannery and the Lebanon Valley going to the Final Four. They did a great job of getting the ball into the paint. I felt Lebanon Valley, though, in the key juncture of the game.
The sweetest part of it, I think, was cutting down the nets at that school in Lancaster. Climbing up there and cutting the nets down, and one of our rivals on their floor was pretty special.
Their ability to get it in there, so you can add some additional points to that because they get to the 1-and-1.
So we handled our business. We got in our bus, put the snow tires on that bus, and we got ready to head to Buffalo. Man, the village around Lebanon Valley, the people, the custodians, the alumni, the townsfolk, when we needed that little boost to get over the top and really make this into something special, they didn't say, what do I need to do? They said, how much can I help?
Holy crap, there's like hundreds and hundreds of people going to this thing, right? To follow along, and every newspaper story is about it. You can't help but then to begin to realize, well, this is a big deal.
And the excitement around the community leading up to getting through the bracket and being invited to Buffalo. You know, my wife and I were proud to be there. We were there for both the games. I still have the ticket stubs from those games. They were an important time in our life.
6 hours later, we get up there, and everybody that made that trip, we had the weekend of our lives.
People always say, did you understand the magnitude of the situation? I don't think we did. You know, we're a bunch of coal region country boys that just loved the game of basketball, right? We could have been giddy and goofing around and, hey man, look what we did. We got to the Final Four. We cut nets down in Lancaster. Our crowd stormed. We won a conference championship. What a great season, right? Like, and it was a great season, even if we would. But Coach Flannery and the rest of the coaching staff, Coach Friday, Coach Copeland, Coach Hess, guys, we are going there to win.
I remember taking my briefcase, and we got on the bus here, getting on, saying, guys, this is a business trip. And that's not this is a business. We're here business. Get your tickets together, visit your family, you know, do all those things. But we got practice, we got a game, we got practice, we got a game to get ready for.
We knew we could play with anybody in the country, and we were going, not happy to be there, but we were going to win.
You might have to settle for 40, 45, 46%.
So Final Four. We get the lucky draw, Wittenberg, #1 team in the nation, 29-1. Powerhouse Division III program, right? They're in the tourney every year. They won national championships. They've been there before.
They were a very good physical team who had been there much more than we had. So it was Wittenberg. Wittenberg was the Cadillac. And so you had to get through them, and we happened to draw them.
They were big, and they were athletic, and they looked, you know, we also had a big athletic team, but I felt like they had some men, you know, and I was maybe not quite a full man yet, you know, so I remember just having to work my ass off to try to keep guys away from the basket.
Robinson trying to shake free of Rhoades. That's Reagan inside against Offcast, and it will count. I think. Referee has not signaled. Yes, he did not think of the goal is good. He can make it from there. Rhoades' shooting percentages have gone down in the NCAA, but his scoring average has gone up. And there is Prosy matching that three. There's the two All-Americans answering each other. Robinson, the smallest man on the floor at 5'7".
Open shots were very difficult to come by. Rebounds were one and done by both teams.
On Robinson this time down the floor. Now Prosy trying to shake free, gets it stripped and stolen.
It was a battle at times of attrition, like who was going to flinch.
Look at the bucket. He can nail that. Harper, whose shooting percentage has gone up here in the NCAA, playing well. Gets Lebanon Valley to lead, and Wittenberg comes right back with a field goal by Aaron Smith.
And then they make this run in the second half, and they take like a nip and tuck 5 to 6 point game, and they stretch it out, if I recall correctly.
By Prosy to shake free of John Harper. And Harper in the open court. Boy, Keith Adams was calling for him to get the ball because he's the point guard, and that's one reason why. Harper loses it, Robinson scores it.
Yeah, and it turns into an easy 2 points for Wittenberg.
Goes to one knee there. Belushi comes out. There's Robinson again. As Terry cut through. Here's Aaron Smith. Robinson had the break on Rhoades, and he lays it in.
Great job big drive there by Robinson.
There he is now. He had Robinson for a second, and Robinson with a quick feet gets back. And a pass, ill-advised, and a foul on John Harper.
Yeah, there's a bad turnover, and can't afford those right now.
The bonus. Mark Belushi again, or out of the game, I think, for Wittenberg. Played a couple of really big minutes there. As a three ball hit by Aaron Terry, and Wittenberg expands their lead.
Boy, that's a dagger there. He's been quiet this half, but boy, that was a loud noise maker right there.
15-point Wittenberg lead with 5:45 to play in this game.
I think it was a 17-point lead. It was double digits. And, I mean, it wasn't late in the half, but like at 17, you're thinking, okay, is this going to go to 22 or is it going to go to 10? If they get it to 10, are they going to get it to 5? And how's this going to pan out?
They had like two back-breaking plays that could have sealed the game. The last nail in the coffin for Lebanon Valley.
They're celebrating, right? They're going down the court with the #1 sign, and they're like this, and Coach Flannery calls a timeout.
I can remember feeling like this game is over. And I can remember Mike saying this game is not over. So maybe that's indicative of a lot of things with our team.
I can't say what I said in that huddle, but it's like, we're not going down this way. We're not letting them act like that towards us. It's too great of a year. We love each other too much. We didn't get here to do this.
That would have been an easy time to say, well, we got this far. I think probably our fans felt that way. We got this far. But there was just never any quit.
Down 13-12, rather. Wittenberg leading. Well, you think a soft line road scripts it.
Some people curdle up and wilt. Some people come out swinging. And lucky for us that night in Buffalo, we delivered a knockout punch.
Lebanon Valley is approaching the 4-minute mark, down by 14. Harper an NBA 3. The ball game. And Rhoades has a double team staring at him. Throws over it to Zever for 3. Woo! That's touching under 10. Rhoades guarded tightly this entire game by Robinson. Nice pass for Jason Say. Tough shot by Jason. One of his few field goals in this game. In fact, only his second. 35 Scott Schwartz in the game. 3 of the starters for Wittenberg. 2 subs. 3 ball by Prosy. Oh, baby.
And still that being said, you think, okay, at 5 minutes we start chipping away, and by 1 minute it's a 2-point game or something, right? Well, no. A minute 34 to go in the game, we're down by 9 points to the best team in the nation, right? 9 points with a minute 34 to go.
We had to create perfection offensively and we had to create defensive perfection at the same time. That's what great teams do.
Foul right away when they get the ball. We'll see if we get another miss here. This is the last 1-1 of the game for Wittenberg. From now on, they'll be 2-2. John Burns, a 64% free throw shooter. Junior from Springfield, Ohio. Rimmed out, loose ball. Oh, 15 down. You get a layup. I'll tell you what, get it here. Jason Fay will throw it in with 1:08 to play, and his team down by 5. There's their special out-of-bounds play.
Rhoades for 3. Go!
And so I remember Mike hits his 3 from the top of the key, and Rhoades for 3, whoa! Like that, and I thought, okay, so we're here.
We're down 2 at this point, and we call a timeout. Coach Flannery draws up a play, and
a 2-point game, and both teams are in the bonus. Lebanon Valley gets the next jump ball situation.
First job here is rebounding this foul shot.
If this ball goes off, they cannot allow a loose ball. It is definitely short, and Lebanon Valley with a shot clock and then some left. 37.
Coach ran a high ball screen for me, and I refused the ball screen. I kicked it to Zebra. He threw it into Phil.
Doubles for Phil Campbell, the sophomore. Ties this game with 28 seconds left.
That was like a shot to me. It was like, yeah, you guys could act the way you want, but we're here.
Croce, you got to help Coach Croce. He's going to want to win this for Wittenberg.
Shot clock is dead.
Shot clock's off, and here's me and Adam Croce. They're all American, who's torched us tonight. It's me and him. He's holding the ball, right?
15, Croce eyeing up Jason Fay, maybe the biggest defensive stop of life.
No, they'll just get a play.
Croce tries to spin away from Jason Fay. Fake.
He banked it hard, missed it. We get the rebound, and we're going to overtime.
We are tied at 74 in the NCAA Division III Men's Final Four.
And you could see it in their eyes. Like, they were dazed. I mean, they're just like, what just happened? For us to get 9 points in 1 minute and 34 seconds against the best team in the nation, what are the chances of that?
Croce and Luke Reagan. The Wittenberg starting lineup will start this extra frame. 5 minutes of basketball, maybe to decide the final 2. Croce, Rhoades against Robbins. The left hand, Mike Rhoades will pull up, and a 5-point lead.
In that overtime, we steamrolled them. We steamrolled them right to the end, right? They were done. Like, they had their chance to put their foot in our throat, and they couldn't.
Jason's on him, and a steal by Stevenson. But Jason Fay, not a great ball game, but great stretches for him, defensively especially.
I do think that that all is a culmination of the kids and your program attitude that's festered through how long you've been there, and thank goodness it was built the right way, that there was never any quitting the kids.
It taught me something as a basketball fan, how hard that is, to do all the work and be asked to tap into something a little deeper.
Short. The rebound chased down by Zebra. Poetic justice, you might say, as Rhoades has open man, but instead passes them up. Lebanon Valley College is going to the big dance.
What a comeback. What a great win for Lebanon Valley here tonight, Scott.
Well, I tell you, Coach Brown and Coach Flannery shake hands. Lebanon Valley and the Violets of New York University will play for the national championship. You will see it right here on WLYH TV.
That's a tough for any team to come back from. So to know that we were able to pull that off, that was something special.
I think the closeness, the care, the love, the willingness not to let each other down, like our guys didn't crack. Our guys stayed together. They stayed resilient, and they had belief.
I'm John Sinodinos, president of Lebanon Valley College. It's a pleasure to have this opportunity to congratulate the players and coaches on both teams tonight. Tonight you're watching basketball played for the love of the sport. Division III colleges award no scholarships for athletics. Our students compete for the joy of playing together and the pride of representing their schools. And now a special thanks to LVC's Flying Dutchman and to Coach Pat Flannery and his staff from all the students, faculty, and staff of Lebanon Valley College.
But I remember, like maybe 3 in the morning, like going over, like writing a scouting report, right? Pinching myself, thinking, we're playing for the national championship tomorrow.
The next morning, Coach Flannery said to me, like, we're going to shoot around. If I see you running too hard, we're just getting out of there. And I remember saying to him, I said, Coach Flan, this is the national championship game. This is something I've been dreaming about to play in my whole life. I'm not getting tired. Don't worry about that. And he's like, well, you heard what I said. And I was like, I wasn't going for it.
There was a lot of media hype. We were the smallest team in the tourney that year. New York University was the biggest, 49,000.
Think about that, right? Lebanon Valley College, NYU, Annville, Pennsylvania, New York. This will always, always be one of the top experiences ever.
That whole representation of that David versus Goliath, LVC, 849,000 at NYU, it couldn't get any better for us. We were the underdog. No one expected us to win anything.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the State University College campus in Buffalo, New York. Tonight on this floor in the sports arena, the NCAA Men's Division III National Championship will be crowned. Lebanon Valley takes on New York University for all of the marbles. Pennsylvania, as NYU and LVC square off in the national championship game. Over to NYU. The Violets, the UAA champions this season, and a nice backdoor cut, and there's our first field goal of the ball game by John Whiteside. Master's nightmare, a play with a number that you just don't know, but we got it. There's Mike Rhoades for 3.
Lebanon Valley bench happy to see that, to get those first points on the board.
You know, that tip goes up, the national anthem, like your mind's all over the place. The anthem's going on. You're thinking about, okay, what are the matchups? What's it going to be like? How are we going to come out ready to play? You're thinking to that McAdoo exit on 81 a year ago. This is what we were for. This is our time now. This is our destiny.
Really good teams, championship teams, got to find ways to win in different ways and on different nights when things aren't always going your way. Here's the national championship game, and both teams don't get off to a great start. And you can see it was going to turn into just beating the hell out of each other, and we sort of did that.
And misses, but draws the foul on Steve Zieber. Tom Bowman is with the ball. He is number 25. That's Gabriel, and that is Adam Crawford. Their leading scorer had but 9 last night. John Harper rubs off the screen by Jason Say.
Good execution.
So far in this game really has not done that.
And Lebanon Valley isn't double teaming him down there much.
There's Chris Murray, a tremendous leaper and a fine penetrator and slash second half. Here come the Dutchmen looking to run. Zieber the board and Rhoades looking ahead. Nice play by Hofstas to fill a jam.
Boy, that's 2 possessions in a row. Lebanon Valley got easy points, and that gives them that 4-point lead. You love to see that as a coach.
And right there you see the importance of dribbling with your head up, which Mike Rhoades has been doing. We go to the locker room, and we have very much of a ball game going to intermission. Our score is Lebanon Valley 24 and NYU 21. You're watching NCAA Championship Basketball on WLYH TV.
So second half, we came out, and I do feel we were a better offensive team than them, and we come out and we get going a little bit.
Early in the half, but you want to get some execution.
Rhoades using the Hofstas screen. Now it is Jason Say. Rattling it home over Adam Crawford.
This is Mike Rhoades' time now. Shot clock going down.
You don't see him that often with his back to the basket that far from the line this time of the game. This time he gets an opening and finds the opening. Harper will toss in against Adam Crawford with Murray, Gabriel, Bowman, and Dan Stevens. It is Zieber teeing up a 3-ball.
Another good inside, kick it back out to the open man. Lebanon Valley's executing very well right now.
And NYU wants a timeout. They're down 8.
We took a 10-point lead, and then NYU came storming
9
back.
points the difference with 10:48 to play in the national championship game. Heating against Adams. Crawford heaves a 3. Whoa.
They're going to be meaningful coming down the stretch.
4-point NYU deficit right now. Crawford for 3. 1-point game.
That's a great pass from the post. Kicking back out. And, boy, we have a ball game. And the foul.
Hofstas' 3rd personal foul as Adam Crawford ties this game.
Look for the high pick and roll here now.
Lebanon Valley is in the bonus. There's Campbell over Gabriel. Well, I tell you what, normal game, Coach Flannery saying no way for that shot, but it goes in.
Let's keep in mind, too, in this last 55 seconds, Lebanon Valley has a foul to give. So if they need to, they can foul someone that isn't in the act of shooting, and NYU will not go to the line.
Here come the Lebanon Valley fans, outnumbering the NYU fans tonight.
They're in the spread offense, but it doesn't look like they're even looking to score. I think they're going to run it down and then run a set play.
18 seconds on the game, or the shot clock, 35 on the game clock.
Pick and roll.
Rhoades inside the stripe. There's Jason Say. And the rebound lost and now regained by Chris Murray. Shot clock is off. 20 seconds remaining in regulation and an NYU timeout forthcoming. 1-point game. New York University with a ball and a chance to, well, take the lead or win this game. So here we go. NYU ball, 19.6 seconds remaining in regulation. Crawford against Harper. Gabriel against Stevenson. There is Stevens inside, counting it, and drawing the foul with 9.6 seconds remaining.
Well, they went to Gabriel, and Gabriel got double-teamed. He found Stevens. Stevens powered it up. A lot of time left, though, 9.6 seconds.
You know, they had a great three-point play at the end to take the lead.
They made some plays we didn't, and it got us, got us down with 9 seconds to go.
Favors the Violets. But Lebanon Valley was in a worse predicament than this last night and got the game to overtime, and that might be what they're looking for right now. Danny Stevens, the sophomore, at 6'4", makes it a 3-point play and a 2-point game. Rhoades, will they call timeout? No, they will not. With 6, with 5, tipped out of bounds by Stevens, and with 2.9 seconds left. As he said, for some kid to come in.
And we're down to, I think, 2.9 seconds. And at that point, Coach Flannery calls timeout.
I mean, we had been in that position a lot of times over 3 years. We'd been in a lot of close games. Our league was really competitive.
We always ran 4-box, and we ran about 5 sets out of the 4-box. And of course, we wanted to, we're going to go to Mike.
I grew up shooting in my barn, right? And it's the things you dream of. You count in your head all the time, 5, 4, 3, but the play calls for Rhoadesy, right? Which it should be, right? So that's not coming to me. So we run, it's just a screen to screener, and I'm the out of bounds guy, right? And so the out of bounds guy, probably with 2.9 seconds to go, he might not be getting a look at this.
All right, here we go. Lebanon Valley with the ball and down by 2 with 2.9 seconds remaining. Jason Say to inbound.
So I was in front of the ball in the block. I set a cross screen for Zeber. Zeber took off, tried to get my man with him a little bit if they switched.
Danny Stevens looking him eye to eye.
Here comes Rhoades.
It is Mike Rhoades inside the line. He throws it up, blocked by Gabriel, tipped to the basket, laid up and in. Does it count?
Yes!
It does!
Yes!
Oh, baby!
Bounces right to me, and I know it's got to be getting close, and you're not thinking, right? This is all, natural. This is, ham underneath, catch it, put it back in, and, hear the buzzer and the looking around and the referee out front. It's good, and chaos ensues, right? People are absolutely going bananas.
I can just remember there being such a state of confusion on the floor. Good, not good.
I'm going to take a look at this replay. Now, look for the light behind the basket, which coincides with the buzzer. Here goes the shot. That light is on before the shot was out of his hand. It should not have counted.
Wow. And there wasn't even, let's put it this way, there was, okay, let's tell you what, let's
get another look to make sure here.
In some ways, it adds to the lore of the entire situation. But in this day and age, things may have been different. But in 1994, it is what it is.
But I said to everybody that questions that, it didn't win us the game. It put the game into overtime, which gave us another 5 minutes for them to prove that they were better or for us to prove that we were better.
I should say, and that is Coach Neshi, even though he has no argument, did not even contest it. I think part of that might be the thing you pointed out. The referee said flat out, it went in. No discussion, no caucus about it. It's a good goal. Let's play the extra frame.
Yeah, and on our instant replay, keep in mind, that's slow motion. So, it was bang, bang, and, it would be very, very hard to tell, but I think it's obvious Lebanon Valley got a break there. Are they going to capitalize?
And then as that chaos, the shock, the jubilation of us tying it, the defeat of NYU, we quickly compartmentalized that, played through the chaos, and got right task back at hand.
I think we all kind of saw it. Like this is the writing on the wall, man. It's do or die. It's now or never. If it's going to happen, we got to make it happen. And I think that's what we did. We went out there and took it to them.
We have 5 more minutes of a chance to win this championship. Let's go get it.
And at the next dead ball, I'll give you a chance to voice your opinion on that. As NYU controls the tap, it'll be Bowman and Crawford, Gabriel and Murray and Stevens for the Violets. We're in overtime in the national championship game from State University College in Buffalo, New York. Crawford runs off a screen, puts it on the floor, and finds the bottom of the net. Streaky at the free throw line. It has earned them a 4-point lead.
Last night when Lebanon Valley came from behind, they dominated the overtime.
Rhoades with a rare field goal in this game. Can't say enough about the defensive job that the Violets have done on Mike Rhoades. NYU with under 3 minutes to play in overtime, leading by 2 and with the ball. Gabriel, a rare jumper. And a rebound by Stevenson.
The big play that happened was, Mike drives and Steve Zebra pops out, and everybody in the gym knew. Everybody knew it was good the second it left his hand. And I mean, it ripped nothing but net.
He would die to be in this ballgame. That ankle injury is obviously too much right now. Zebra, big 3 for Zebra, will be nothing but net.
There he is. We talked about Harper being out with the ankle injury because he is. Zebra's on the floor, and he's a big-time senior, too.
And those 3 points, hey, in Lebanon Valley's world, outside of that tip-in, but that shot in overtime, that was a shot heard around the world, and it couldn't have happened to a better guy.
And I'm like, you know what? It's my senior year. Let's knock it down. Knocked it down, and I guess we never lost the lead again. So, big shot, and I just was fortunate to be in that position.
Lebanon Valley holding up the sign. There's work to be done, and it is 2 shots, and Stevenson, nothing but the stroke.
Make sure that you don't commit a foul now and stop the clock.
Stevenson with that spin and a little strong 5-point
Oh,
game, and
man.
that should do it. 7.5 seconds left. They could run out the clock. They're playing pitch and catch, and they finally foul Rhoades with 3.7 seconds remaining.
I got to the foul line to ice the game, and Zebra came up to me with a big smile, and he's like, "We're gonna win this whole damn thing," or he might have said it differently. And I was like, "I gotta shoot." Z. He goes, "I ain't worried about it."
Mike Rhoades hits a couple of free throws late, and it pretty much ices it. And you're thinking, this is really cool. What's this going to mean for this school to pull this off?
And Lebanon Valley College is the NCAA Division III National Basketball Champion.
Boy, congratulations to all the coaches and all the players. Tremendous accomplishment.
You'll not find, well, you can't see a Lebanon Valley player in that lineup, but somewhere in there are a group of national title holders.
You run around, you hug, you hug anybody, cry. You feel like there's 100 emotions that go off in your head, from absolute joy to this better not be a dream and be unfair if I wake up. Humility, gratitude, love.
In all my years of coaching, biggest thrill I've ever had is coaching that team in the NCAA championship, and been to the NCAA tournament, Division I, and done all of that. But to see that group of kids, and to see the program, and to see the community and the school, I still, it will always give me thrills.
Scotty Stevenson from Pottsville, Pennsylvania, Coach Flannery's hometown. Nobody recruited him. He turns himself into this player. We don't win the national championship without Scotty Stevenson. We go back to the locker room, and he's in the locker room holding the trophy with tears in his eyes because he accomplished that.
It was a great experience.
You know, at some point, you all question, you battle that self, sometimes your mind says things and you think you're insignificant and you're not special, you're not good. For one damn moment in time, right? I was pretty special.
That bond, I'll probably take it to my grave. The bond that I have with these guys, it's phenomenal.
We did it, right? We did it. We did something. We're 30 years later. We're talking about it.
A bunch of people are going from 2 years ago.
So Julio's got the net.
If you hold up that picture, I think these guys are smart.
They're not. They're not. Julio, right here. Just let me get everybody. Julio, right here.
I'm right here. Right here. What if you're not in his
Steve Zieber, right here. All right. Smoothie, you're by Hart. Coach Flannery, you're by Mike Rhoades and Coach Hess.
Yes. Don't get missed.
All right, so hey, everybody look how they're posed. Can everybody see this picture? All right, let's get there.
Jay-Z, you're here.
All right, Zick, you got your hand in the air.
Somebody,
Cope, you see it?
I got you.
All right.
It's hard for me
Yeah.
to do this. Every left hand was
All
up
right,
on the
see that?
There.
All right. What are you doing? All right. So where was my arm? Was up there.
What do you go back? His hands up. So what's he? The only finger up and still in the air.
Are we doing it? Anybody missing Patty that you see? I remember after we won the championship, didn't they tear down the goalpost?
Hey. He's hoping to find your card this time.
Good.
All you old people, come on up.
Awesome.
We knew our fans were all going to be back at the hotel. We all stayed at the same hotel, and we're like, yeah, this is going to be a great night. And I remember Coach Flannery saying, all right, everybody, we represent Lebanon Valley. We'll wait till we get back to Anvil. There was no wait until we got back to Anvil. There was one heck of a party.
We cleared the entire bar out of every drop of alcohol in the entire bar. There was nothing left to buy.
It was a celebration of being a part of Lebanon Valley College. Yes, I know we won a national championship, but it was greater than that.
All our fans are there. My professors, the president, the president's wife. I remember dancing with the president, and it was euphoric, right? Everybody's hugging, everybody's happy. Like,
I remember one of our professors, Keith Adams, and I were in his government class, and he wanted to have a drink with us at the bar. And we had a quiz on Monday morning at 9 o'clock with him. And the drink was really good. I'm not sure how the quiz went.
We drive into Anvil, and the streets are lined with people, right? The fire trucks meet us, and this was before people did. I didn't even know people did parades for these. There's a parade for us, right? And the streets are lined, and then we get up to the school, and there's just hundreds of people in every news station. All the bright lights are there, and you're coming off the bus, and people are just going bananas, right?
From there, it was a whirlwind, right? It was going to the state capitol. It was the post office did a special stamp. It was the awards and the plaques and the speaking thing. But at the end of it, it was a little bit of a sad thing too, because it all came down to that national championship game, and we had it, but it was the journey that really mattered, right? It was the Saturday morning practices. It was the breakfast at Coach Rhoades' house with the team, selling lemonade at the Spring Arts Festival here, right? And just doing those things, and it was just a hell of a run.
This picture is on my refrigerator. I see it every morning, and it's good to see because we're happy. Yes, I'm glad to have it. I'm very glad to have it. So, for a small town to have this distinction, who could write this? Who could imagine it?
Here it's been hung on to for 30 years. And I think it shows how big of a deal it was.
People are proud of their alma mater to begin with, but you have something like that hanging in there, there's not many of those banners hanging in many gyms anywhere.
They were a reflection of the people in this area. They were a reflection of these small communities, put their hearts and mind to something, had a great leader, and they accomplished something magnanimous.
This will bond us forever. A national championship. I mean, a national championship in men's basketball. This will bond them forever. I don't even know if some of them realize what they really did.
Every year I've coached, it's still about chasing another one of those. Why not? That's the fun of it, and I'm not afraid to put that out there. If we're gonna, one thing I learned here at Lebanon Valley, if we're gonna bet on anyone, we're gonna bet on us. And I'm playing with house money every year I coach, just like how we did when we played.
You know, we had this iconic figure at Lebanon Valley called Hot Dog Frank, who was a huge supporter of students and helped people in so many ways, and we'd have Hot Dog Frank Day, and this guy was one of the biggest supporters of Lebanon Valley basketball, and he passed away the night we won the national championship.
Everything was just so, like, everything just fell into place, like, so, you know, so perfectly.
Later on, the Peace Garden was started, and then there's this wonderful bronze casting of Hot Dog Frank, and it was determined that he should have some participation in this. So John gave the sculptor his championship ring with Synodinos on it, and Hot Dog Frank has that ring casted on his finger.
Lebanon Valley has never had a national championship before. Hot Dog Frank, he was not there, nor did he see the climactic game on television, because just before game time, at the age of 92, Frank Eftesmus had died. But the president and students of Lebanon Valley have no doubt that there were 6 players playing for the Flying Dutchman that final game. And they are proceeding with the statue on campus with one change. The bronze likeness of Hot Dog Frank will wear a signet ring, the same ring worn by the 1994 NCAA Division III national champions, the Flying Dutchmen of Lebanon Valley. For everybody in the Lebanon Valley knows whose finger was on that buzzer Saturday night.
Take it in, your glory bound. A high lonesome cowboy, some truck driving man. Your day will come too, so hang in if you can. Just count the days until you're found. Saddle up, your glory bound. find the words and spit them out. Find some love in here. It's falling from the clouds. Find someone out in the crowd. Pack it up, you're glory bound.